Hey team, this is just a quick FYI video on how to make a non-item test bank. So like I'm going to take this test on paper answer key in Illuminate and or check the key that someone else has made. So the first thing you're going to want to do is log into Illuminate, which if you go to your little Okta app, Illuminate is an option right there for you. And then you're going to actually want to log in with the universal login for so that all the Navigator tests are in one place. And so that's Navigator admin is the username, and MS Mary Mock apparently is the password. So just as an FYI, you log in using that Universal Navigator account. Once you're logged in, you go to Assessments, Create Assessment. Again, if you're building, this is for people who need Illuminate to track their data, but they're not taking the test online, they're taking it on paper. You want to make a flexible key. FYI to anyone doing this for the first time since last year, they've gotten a big facelift for this Illuminate stuff. Our naming convention is Navlet, one word, 2019-20, the grade level, and the IA number. And then I add paper admin usually to the end, so we just are remembered, and that's what it is. There is theoretically a way that you can like scan a PDF and it makes the key for you. I've never personally found a lot of success with that, but in theory, that works. So if you are someone who tries that and it's successful, report back because that sounds awesome. So note that in the Illuminate facelift category, my guess is there's a way to add more than one question at a time, but I don't actually know how to do that yet. You're like, Emily, why are you doing this how-to video? I don't know. Good question. It works in the end. Anyway, I think you can also do this thing where you like copy and paste it. Make another one. We're clicking this. There we go. Okay. So never mind, you can't actually do it. Then I'm just going to keep adding. We get to 20. Okay. So what you need to do for each question, it's automatically going to default to multiple choice for each question, which is helpful since most of our tests is multiple choice. I've got Mary's answer key for grade 6 IA1 pulled up. Answer to number 1 is A. I'm going to go ahead and change this from 5 multiple choice answers to 4. The answer choice is A. I click A, it should highlight in green. The weight for each question is 1, which means that each question is weighted equally for multiple choice. And then I'm going to go ahead and add standards. This is going to default populate all the standards I just entered for the 7th grade test, which is not helpful because I need the 6th grade standards. So I'm just going to delete those. Once you're in the standards, what you basically do, you start with providers, you pick Common Core State Standards, pick the subject, English, pick the grade level. Here's where I need to make a switch. And note that I both need to click grade 6 and I need to unclick grade 7. And then I'm going to go through and add all of the standards that will appear on this test. So like 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, 6.4, 5, 6. Scroll. I can't remember if there's a 0.9 or not. It doesn't actually matter. You don't have to pick a standard. You could never tag a standard in something. That would be fine. But this, everything that you're selecting here ends up in the drop down for standard tagging. So you want to have it there just in case. Definitely don't have a 7, 8, 9. And then basically everything saves automatically. It should almost always say saved. And so I just click the X when I'm done. And I can start to standard tag the answer number 1A, RL 6.4. And so like I said, there's this drop down, this nice convenient drop down. And then you can go back and put your cursor over it and it'll check, it'll populate. This is RL 6.4. Double check your key again. This is RL 6.4. So you do this basically the same thing for each question. Question 2 is B and RL 6.6. B, RL 6.6. I'm going to go back and highlight on the cursor just to double check. Okay, so I do all of this until I get to an open-ended response question. So on this one, it's number 11 is the first open-ended response. Here's where I'm going to convert this from multiple choice to constructed response. And we have to let people have the ability to give something a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 based on our rubric. So here are, here's the options that someone will then later go back and bubble in. Kids will leave this bubble part blank. Teachers, once they've scored that OER, will bubble in if it's a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. The weight has to be set at 4 for the data to pull properly to know if a kid got a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4. It doesn't mean that we are weighting the multiple choice like 1/4 as much as the constructed response. This is just how we have to set the weights to get the data back, and then we can manipulate it when we're setting cut scores on our end. Anyway, note that this has both 6.3 and 6.1, so I'm going to add both of those standards, both 6.3, and I want to pick the more prevalent standard first, and then also 6.1. So I'm going to highlight over that. Okay, we've got 6.3 and 6.1, we're good to go. The last thing you need to know, just like a quick pretend that I filled this all out correctly, the last thing that you do is that you upload the materials. This is, again, like this, people are taking this on paper and they're also going to have access to a Google Drive where they can grab the PDFs of these documents or the Word doc if they have, for example, modifications or accommodations they need to make for special education students. But what I just do then is put the PDFs in this upload. So we need the 6th grade answer key. We need the open-ended response document. What just happened? Oh yeah, thanks for opening that for me. Super initiative. Back. I still need to add more materials. So I need to add the open-ended response document and I need to add the actual test itself. I'm going to just control highlight both of those, drag it in. Success. So now I see that there's 3 different materials here, the answer key, the IA itself, and the open-ended answer sheet. So all of these things are here and available. And if I wanted to, for example, take a look at it or download it or delete it, those are options here. So yeah, that's basically it. When you're done, then you click done. You can always go back to the test itself and pull it up again and double check everything, but that's basically it.